We talked earlier about projects versus next actions. So this is a really key thing that we have to do when we are making our lists of what to do. We need to break them down into projects and next actions. And then our next actions, we're going to talk about how we organize our next actions here in a second. But really, we're just taking one of the next actions from a project and putting that into a category of when we might take action on that based on our availability within our day, our schedule, etc. But the main thing is recognizing that many things that we think are actions or things I got to do really aren't just a thing. They're a project, and they're going to require multiple steps to get them accomplished. And if you don't categorize them properly, then you might take the first step in that project. But if you have not captured the fact that it's an ongoing project until such time that it's completed, you've just created another open loop in your life. You think you were productive, you got one part of it crossed off the list, and you didn't even identify what the next action step was. So it is a key fundamental of the getting things done workflow to make sure that you're clearly identifying what are projects and what are next actions, and then putting the next actions in front of you when you actually have the time to do them. So let's talk about that for a second. Your lists want to be, these next action lists want to be broken into context. What do I mean by context? Well, when would you actually have the ability to do them? So let me give you a few examples. When you're at your office at work, there's probably certain things that you can only do at your office, right? Matter of fact, people oftentimes are like, hey, can you get me that thing or get me that information? Like, yeah, as soon as I get back to my office, I'll get that over to you. Okay, that's clearly in the category of things I can do at my office. So as you look through your inbox and identify all the things you need to do, some things can only be done when you're at your office. So why think about them when you're in your car or when you're out running errands? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So have a category of these are things I can do when I'm sitting at my desk at my office. Another example, phone. Like, if all I have is my phone, what can I get done on my list? I don't need my office. I don't need my computer. I don't need any notes, but there's probably things that I could just do. There's phone calls I need to make that I've made commitments that I'm going to do. So what do I do when I just have some time with my phone? Maybe I'm waiting for something. I'm in a waiting room, or I'm early for an appointment. I'm driving. All these times when we can get to our phone, but we may not be able to get to all these other things. Those are things that would go on your phone list. And then at your computer, maybe you're not at your office, but you have your laptop with you. You have some downtime. You're on a flight, as an example. You're on a flight. You have your computer. What are some things that you've identified can get done when you're sitting at your computer? And then another example would be like errands, right? So what is something when I'm out running errands that I know that I can get done? I put that on my errands list. So when I have some time, or I have a really important errand I need to go run, I go, what else is on my errands list that I need to get done this week? And capture that. So it's really about organizing your tasks, your next actions into context so that you can take action on them when you're in the environment where you can actually complete them. And then when you find yourself in one of those places, your office, or just with your phone or with your computer available, that you can pull up your list and say, okay, what did I identify during my weekly review that I need to do when I'm sitting at my computer? And it helps us, boom, stay right on task. The other thing that happens, you guys, by organizing your list this way is that these open loops that I talked about, they come back to you at the worst times. When you're sitting there watching TV and all of a sudden you have something flies back into your brain that you needed to do that you didn't get done that day. And immediately we're stressed. We're supposed to be here relaxing, chilling, watching Netflix, and all of a sudden I'm stressed about that person that I said I would get back to them, and I didn't get back to them. Now I might be sending them an email at 9:30 at night. Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't get back to you, whatever, right? Because we want to clear our conscience. Those are the things we want to keep from happening in our lives. And the way to do that is by creating these systems, or worse yet, when you're laying in bed, right? Like, you're laying in bed and these things come to you and you realize, like, oh shit, now you're stressed out, now you're not sleeping. It's probably a good idea. I don't know if he talks about this in the book, but this is another good idea. Just keep a notepad and paper next to your bed, like on your nightstand. So when these random ideas come to you, you can jot them down and then make sure they get into your inbox in your system to be captured later. And then that'll help you go to sleep. And another little hack there for you.